Hey guys, it's Dereka with Dereka's Designs, and today we're going to make this cute little leopard trim snowman attachment. This is a no-sew attachment, so grab your glue guns and let's get started. So we're back and making this cute little leopard print snowman, snow girl, whatever you want to call her. She's cute. I mean, she is a very, what I would call a basic snowman head, but so versatile. You do not have to use leopard, okay? You can use any kind of color you want. The little scarf down here, you can just use regular felt or fabric. I like the look of the plush, and this is just it's blanket material. It's fleece. So, you know, find a plush fleece that you like and go with that color scheme. That's always the easiest way for me. Find, you know, whatever the focal point. You don't have to use leopard, but I don't always like the leopard. You know, I was just making different ones, and I happen to have some 2.5-inch leopard ribbon and a 1.5-inch leopard ribbon, and you can see one has a very white background and one has a cream background, but we're going to use them together because that's all I have. So, as with all no-sews, you guys, those of you who've been with me for a while probably know how to do this before I even get started. So we are going to throw our pipe cleaner in here so that if you need to use it as an attachment, there's something for you or your customer to grab onto. Of course, it will have to be extended, but it just gives you something. We have the basic little orange carrot nose. Now, I did not add polyfill to this nose. I just didn't feel like it really needed it. I didn't want to make it any more puffy. You can. So I'm just going to glue the nose directly to the orange felt here. And then we're just going to cover it just like every other no-sew item that we do. All right, so on this one, we do have a brim of the hat. And this, again, no, this one does have not polyfill, quilt batting. Let's see where it goes. If you guys, this is my like scraps of quilt batting. You can see, I just find pieces on the quilt batting and I glue down onto it. It's just, this used to be a queen size blanket. This used to be the size for a queen size blanket. It is not anymore. And I just try to go on the outside edges. And then I just stick it down on top of the quilt batting like that. And since I know we're going to use quilt batting on this one too, so I'm going to go, while I have it laid out here, I'm going to try to find a spot that's big enough. Let's see. So we can get it like right there. I just go around. I try to get sort of towards the edges. You don't have to. You know. And oops. Stick it right on there. And we'll just cut those off. So I'm just putting glue down the edge of this black felt and then folding it over on here. Like that. So this piece of felt must have been dropped on the floor. It is filled. Okay. Gosh, this one too. All right, we're going to flip that sucker over. I'm not sure what happened to that. So basically we have the hat, the face, right? And they're going to meet here in the middle, sort of. I like to put just a very light line of glue on the either side, does not matter, and glue them together just the width of the line of glue. It doesn't have to be thick. It's easier to work with one piece than it is to constantly be trying to piece two pieces together, right? So now when you set this on there, ba-boom, it's perfect, right? So now you just start doing the usual, covering it up. This is going to go, and it's going to cover that seam that we just made. So that is why I was not worried about gluing one on top of the other. It's going to be covered. always think about that, guys. When you're making your no-sew attachments, always be thinking, okay, so what is going to be covered and what is going to be visible, and where can I don't want to call it cut corners, but where can I make little things, like if I make a mistake, it's not going to destroy the entire thing. So if I wasn't putting this over this, then I might be worried about my cut lines. They would need to be perfectly straight. They would need to butt up together perfectly. But they don't have to, because I'm putting this over it. Any kind of trim, you know, use your trims to make things pretty. Yeah, that's, but always, like, don't get discouraged if you mess something up. Go back and, you know, look at the picture and be like, oh wait, that's going to get covered up by some rickrack later. It's fine, you know? Sometimes you can frustrate yourself, and the bad thing is about a no-sew attachment, or really anything you're doing with hot glue, the more you try to pull it apart and fix it, the worse you make it. Oh my God. The worse you make it. It's just the glue strings and the, oh, it does not matter. I would say just don't pull anything apart, you know, just don't. Okay, we're just holding all that down. Unless the glue is still warm and you can pull it apart and then let those glue strings dry or cool off, and then you can just very easily break those glue strings. Don't try to pull the glue strings while they're still wet, because let them cool off and then you can break them. And that's the only time I would say, you know, go ahead and tear it apart. But Lord, 9 times out of 10, it's just easier to start over brand new. And think about, excuse me, you have what, a nickel's worth of felt and a dime's worth of foam board. It's okay to start over. It's okay. You're not out a bunch of money if you just start over. So I always, if I'm cutting for one of these things, because the felt comes to you folded in half, and most fabrics come to you folded in half, go ahead and cut 2. I mean, it makes no sense to just cut one of anything when the fabrics are already coming to you folded. Unless they're directional and they have to go a specific direction, go ahead and cut 2, make 2. Oh my gosh, you guys know that. I'm all about, if you're going to make these and sell them, make sure you have enough in case somebody else wants one. You know, you sell the first one, great, but you know, and it could be a week 2 later. You may not sell it that same day as you sold the first one. Somebody else might just be scrolling through Facebook and say, hey, I really like this. Do you have any more? And if you don't have them, you're not doing yourself any favors, right? All right, so I'm just looking to see what's next. We're going to put this little brim on there and see how it's just going to cover that up. So even if your lines here were kind of sketch, you're covering it right up with that. So now I'm not going to glue all the way to the edges because the edges hang over. So I'm only going to glue, I'm going to leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches on each side, you know, unglued. Make sure you're looking at it straight on so that your hangover is the same, meaning the hangover here, not the other hangover, but you know, you want it to hang over evenly on each side. I don't want to talk about the other hangover. And I'm going to clip those on just so that it stays on there, right? Alrighty. Now, because the face is wide open, we are a little bit crooked. While this is still warm, I can go in here and very lightly lift this side. I noticed when I looked at it, it was probably about 1/4 inch lower than the other side. So now I have a nice straight area like that. You know what I'm saying. We're going to go ahead and do the eyes now. Guys, these are the most basic eyes, right? Because it's a snowman, and you know, most people just do lumps of, you know, a couple lumps of coal. So I didn't do a, you know, elaborate resin eye on this girl because I just didn't feel like she needed it. Now the little white circle, it's just a little white dot. You gotta do something in the eye. You can't just have big black bulbs or big things of, you know, coal. She needs a little more than that. So, and we're gonna add some eyelashes on her. So you just kind of place your eyes sort of where you want them. Just look at it in front of you. The most important thing, it's not making sure that these are level. They need to be level, but these dots, Like if your eyes look like that, it looks like a ghost. Like that's just weird. This one being all cockeyed. You really want to make sure your dots line up. To me, that's the most important thing whenever you're putting eyes on. Make sure your dots are basically in the same spot. When you turn it like that, the dots line up, but now this isn't the same direction. It's just weird. I don't know. Like that kind of, to me, that looks like a ghost. It doesn't look like a snowman. So just be careful with how you're placing your eyes. Make sure you get them even, standing upright, straight, and that your dots are kind of, most of the time when I put dots on eyes like that, that's my focal point. I'm looking at that dot. I want to make sure that I match up that dot. So I got my first one on. Now I'm going to take the second one. I'm going to hold it up in front of me. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to press it down yet. I'm just going to make sure it looks even. And it does. It's good right there. And then, where's our pen? We're not going to draw on the carrot, and we're not going to do the mouth and the nose yet, because that's the last step, because this is paint and it needs time to dry. And last thing you want to do is all this and then smudge it. Once it's smudged, you can't get the smudge off. Okay, that's game over. Not, you know, you can't go any further than that, but we can get it. We can put the nose on and then draw on it later. So that one, I had the nose facing downward a little bit, and I kind of wish I had done more. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it more like that. That's not too bad. I don't know. It's a carrot, you know. Oh well, it's there. It's going to have to stay. And then we have a couple of little cheeks. These are just little pink circles. You can use blush if you have a palette of blush that you like to use. Just use the blush. I use the blush on lots of things. We have several projects that I'm doing right now that I'm going to use the blush on, but I just wanted some really bold color for her and her cheeks. She needed it. Like black, white, and orange with the leopard. I just felt like I wanted more color. Okay, so we have that. We have all of that. Now, before we put the big scarf on, we're going to do, now guys, this is just ribbon. This is just the wired ribbon. You can take the wires out if you want, but you don't have to. I'm going to kind of tuck the bottom piece of wire up under this brim just a little bit, just where it'll fit in there. And then I will throw some glue, kind of put it all in place. You don't need a lot. You don't want glue seeping through. This particular ribbon is linen, I guess. So the glue will seep right through it onto your fingers. So, and you don't need a lot of hot glue to hold ribbon in place. One little line on each of those is all you need. And use your little silicone fingers or a piece of silicone, because it did seep through right there. Ribbon is not as densely woven as other things. Okay. Then I just have a piece of, you guys, this is the bow. You can get as elaborate with the bow as you want to. Let me tell you, if you want to make an exploding bow and put it on here, absolutely. I just did like a bow tie. You know, I'm not that guy. I don't do the ribbon thing, so, or the bow thing. I'm not good at it. I can, but I don't think she needs it. This little hat doesn't need a giant exploding bow. Now, one of the cute little bows, like you put on like a door hanger, would be just perfect. So what I'm doing, this is a little scrap piece, is going to be my little center nugget there, just to hold it all together. I kind of fold it in thirds. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to scrunch up the center of this, put this around, and then I'm going to grab hold of this and pinch it really tight. One, I want to make sure I have the center. And two, I can hold it really tight and I can fluff up the wired edges of this ribbon to see if that's, you know, the size I want, if that's the look I want. And I think it looks really good just like that. And then, let's see, we're going to put it down here. So I have to cut, one of these are really long. So I wish I would not grab those scissors. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue, just a little. And I've only done one side of it so far. I just want to hold that down right there. Then I'm going to put a little more glue on there, and I'm going to fold over this bottom piece. And I'm just going to hold that. And if you have a lot of glue on there, like I just put on there, use a silicone. There we go. That should be fine. And now when you flip it around, the glue strings, and again, you want to fluff it up again. It's going to flatten and just, you know, kind of make it just look like a bow tie. And we're just going to put it, again, just throw some glue back here all around and place it on there. Now it'd be really cute if you had like cute little buttons or something to put in the center, or if you wanted to use a really thin, like 1/4 inch black bow and like put that in the center and have little dangles hanging down. I mean, y'all are the bow people. So I try to put out ideas, but I'm not that talented. Okay, let's just face it. Okay. Now this is Hobby Lobby's Fleece Plush Leopard. They have this in lots of different styles, and you can see, like, look at my cut here. It is not perfect. It's just a strip. I didn't put this in the pattern, guys, because you could just literally use some 2.5 inch or 4 inch ribbon and make the same. But if you're going to use fabric, just cut a strip of it. There's no measurement to it because I don't measure these types of things. It's probably 6 inches tall, maybe 18 inches long, and I'm going to cut some of this off. So, you know, because it's plush, it's got all this weird edge on it. That gets folded over or folded under and set on there. So this is where, like I said, I don't do measurements. You just cut a strip, and you don't have to glue it on. You can make the whole thing before you start gluing to make sure you like it. And then I like to put a knot in it over here. That's why I have these cut in half, because then it looks more scarf-like, right? So you have a cute little knot right there. These ones aren't very long. These ones are really long. It's just a knot. I literally just cut it a knot. Like if you were to put it around your neck, you'd put a little knot in it to hold it in place. That's all I did. Flip this over. Now I'm not going to, whoops, let me see. I don't want it to be flat like that. And you can see with the other one, I kind of scrunched it up a little bit before I folded it over. There's some glue. Oops, kind of hold it in place. Kind of scrunch up that fleece. And if you're using fabric, you'll definitely want to scrunch it up a little bit. Guys, just think about how a scarf looks. I mean, you just start glue, especially if you're using this plush stuff, just start gluing it. I mean, it's not going to look wrong. And you get this little corner over here, and it's not going to glue down. So add some more glue. Just use your finger. Kind of, ouch! Yep, got me again. When you flip it over, see how it's not perfect. It's kind of scrunched. You have this little knot right here. And I'm going to glue the knot. I haven't glued the knot down yet, so that's what I'm going to do right here. The knot where I want it and make it stay. And you have this little tails hanging down like that. And then I just took one of these white. I took a black glittered styrofoam pom-pom bowl filler thing. I cut it in half with the X-Acto knife, and then I just glued it on here. Because the white was just too white when I first put it on here. I didn't like it. Now this is a sticker, but I don't trust stickers ever. I always add a little bit of glue. I'm going to put that just so it looks like maybe a little brooch or something right on that knot. Just breaks up all of this and kind of, but see how this, it's not perfect. See how it's all bunched up and coming. It doesn't, maybe, but think about your scarves. The scarves aren't a perfect line either. So don't be afraid to just scrunch it up and throw some glue behind it. I like these longer better than this one. This one's much shorter. I like the longer one, so I'm going to leave them like that. You can add a little bit of fringe on the bottom if you feel like it, so they look like a scarf. Totally up to you. All right, so now we're going to finish our face real quick. All right, so the nose. The pen is going to get stuck in the felt. Ooh, these are way too many lines. I was going a little crazy with that. Okay. Not perfect, but it's okay. I don't hate it. Then over here, I'm going to do eyelashes. Like that. You can tell I'm not really measuring anything. I'm just doing it. I'm just going for it. And then her cute little, I got this thing right now with this curvy wavy mouth. Like everything has a curvy wavy mouth. You know why? Because it's cute and it's easy. And I don't have to sit and cut out felt to make a mouth. Now, she would be super cute. Guys, remember on the spider, if you did the spider, she had a cute little set of lips that I just glued on top of this squiggly mouth. She would be cute with that. So think about how you can use stuff from your other patterns to enhance a new pattern. So that those cute little lips could easily, you would just literally glue them on and then draw the little line over it, just like I did on the spider. Look at the pictures of the little no-sew spider. You'll see what I'm talking about. And that's it. We're done. She is ready to go. Look at how cute she is. And like I said, if you love leopard, then do leopard. If you don't love leopard, if you have a ribbon that you want to do, absolutely. Like, I think, I really think she'd look cute with the blues. I just don't have any of the blues here with me right now. But use what you have. You know, if you have some plush fleece somewhere or just a plush fabric, you can use crushed velvet. You can use plush, the plush fleece. That's just a little bit thicker than this. You can use the blanket fleece. You can use anything for the scarf. You can use plaids. You can make her, what is that? Farmhouse looking with plaids, buffalo plaid. Do all the things. All the things. Don't let anything stop you, okay? That is it. I'm going to go put all this away. And you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.